Hello there and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom Marshall. Would you rather have all-out alien warfare like in War of the Worlds or Battle Los Angeles? Or would you rather be completely taken over by intelligences far greater than our own without your knowledge? Well, Vince Gilligan does. Today we're going to look at Pluribus. Let's get into it. The show Pluribus is created by Vince Gilligan. Vince Gilligan is a creator who you may know from such shows as Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Very successful shows on Netflix. Now he has gone to Apple TV Plus with Pluribus. Pluribus stars Rhea Seehorn, who plays Carol. The show is about these scientists who discover a radio message from space and are able to decode the message that has been playing for millions and millions of years and come from light years away from space, away from Earth, and they have received this message. What they find embedded in the message are ingredients for something, whatever it is, they don't know yet, but ingredients that they can get on Earth. And so in a lab, they are able to recreate these ingredients, and soon all hell breaks loose. The scientists go into the lab to check on their experiments on this ingredients that they have discovered from space, and experiment on these little mice. And basically what they do is finished with the mice and about to exterminate them, but then they discover one of them is dead, and so they open them up and they check to see the mouse, to see if there are any signs of life at all whatsoever, or if the experiments that they've been doing on them have taken any effect. One of the female scientists essentially takes off her glove and starts performing CPR on the mouse to try and see any signs of life, and suddenly gets bitten by the mouse. She gets bitten, her partner in the lab goes off somewhere and examines other samples, and then suddenly comes back and finds her in some sort of like trance-like state at her workstation where she is performing this CPR on the mouse, which has now run off. And so she's in a trance and her body is convulsing, she's changing, she's turning, and then she stops and becomes something different. Then she approaches her partner and kisses him, and then suddenly he turns and goes into the same trance-like state, starts convulsing and shaking, and then suddenly he turns as well, and all is not as it seems. Have they changed? Have they become something different? What has happened? And so after the incident in the lab, the world seems perfectly normal to the normal observer coming in. And this is where we see Carol for the first time. Carol is an author who has come back from a successful book tour and has become a bestseller, one of a long-running book series, and has come home with her partner, her agent. They are on the way home, and on the way home they go to the pub or bar to have a celebratory drink, and all seems perfectly normal. Everything's hunky-dory, life is going along quite swimmingly, they're all enjoying themselves, they're celebrating, although Rhea Seehorn's character Carol is a bit skeptical and a bit miserable and not really sort of enjoying the fruits of her labour and her success. She's not happy, she's just miserable in general. All this is going on, they're having a good time, then they leave the bar, and then this is where everything changes for Carol. Her partner, her agent, she is on the phone checking messages and things like that, and then all of a sudden she ends up in the same trance-like convulsion state as what the scientists went through in the lab earlier. And so she's shaking, her body's changing, everything's happening all around, And it's not just her. It seems like everyone around Carol is going through the same experience, the same convulsions, the same trance like states, and all hell is breaking loose. So she notices that her friend has completely gone and is not all there anymore, and sees her fall to the ground. She runs to her aid, helps her, takes her to a nearby hospital, and then that is where they are encountered by these other beings from God knows where. Everyone in this hospital is also in this trance like state, and she has to try and find a doctor, but everyone there is completely unresponsive and completely incapacitated. And so she basically just helps herself and tries to find help for her agent, her friend, her partner. But unfortunately, her partner dies on the scene, and then the turn is made. Everyone around her suddenly wakes up from this trance like state that they're in, but not is all as it seems. And then chaos from there ensues for Carol. Her world has been completely turned upside down. And it's basically the story of her survival. Why is she the only one that is completely unaffected by whatever's going on in the human race? Why is she the only one that is herself? So this show has all sorts of twists and turns and interesting storylines and great characters, just like you would expect in a Vince Gilligan show. Although it's not Breaking Bad at all by any stretch. However, I did notice just from the first episode that there were a little few callbacks to Breaking Bad. There's no coincidence that Carol's jacket is yellow, which very similar to the overalls that the people would wear in Breaking Bad. They're exactly the same color. There's a couple of shots where you see a barrel as well, and a few other callbacks to the Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul shows. I think Rhea Seehorn's performance as Carol is very, very good. She plays miserable, sort of annoyed person very, very well, and she is very much not conforming to the alien invasion, and she is trying to figure out a way to fix things, and she is just very proactive to start with and trying to figure out what's going on. And so it's very sort of quirky, very sort of eerie at times, especially when the aliens send a liaison between them and her, a woman who looks distinctively like one of Carol's characters in her book, and she notices it very, very clearly. It's like she even grabs a book from her house and compares the two people. They're very similar, even though she's compared to a male character in a book, but she's actually female. And she sort of becomes the liaison and the messenger between the alien hive mind that has taken over the entire world and Carol. And so why is Carol unaffected? Well, even the aliens don't know themselves, which is a great twist. They haven't figured out a way to sort of turn her back into one of them and have them join together. So they are very much making her happy, even though she is completely a miserable person in general, is very hard to please, and so they are doting on her every need, and even to the detriment of their safety. The aliens that are in control of the minds of the humans don't really know sarcasm. And when Carol talks about hand grenade in one of the episodes, they literally come in and give her a hand grenade, even though she was being sarcastic. They just can't tell the difference. The alien's job to basically just keep her happy until they can figure out a way to turn her. And so there's this cat and mouse relationship between the liaison and Carol, and it is really quite an interesting dynamic that they have. Like, they want to help, Carol doesn't want their help, and it's very sort of chaotic and conflicting relationship as well. So it is really plays out very well. And upon discovering that later on that there are other people like her that are themselves, makes her even more frustrated when the other people she encounters like her don't want to fix things and want to keep the world as it is, and have pretty much resigned to defeat at this point. Really annoys her because she wants the world to go back to normal, because essentially what the aliens have done is taken away their freedoms, they've taken away their sense of self, any sort of emotion and freedom of thought. They're all one hive mind, and it's a difficult situation for Carol to be in. She is not a scientist or anything like that, so she has to find ways to figure out what's going on her own. And so she heads back home after meeting these other people that are like her, and then that's basically where we've got to. There's only been like 4 episodes that have come out so far, and so she's on the return flight home. It's so far is really good, and I like the fact that it's all one hive mind. So everything that Carol does, everything, all her emotions are, you know, amplified by the aliens and are affected by the aliens. So, if she's angry, the aliens are angry as well. So it affects the entire world. Carol has to walk on eggshells because, if she does something wrong, or if she can't control her emotions, then she might end up killing millions of people because of it, because her decisions directly affect the entire human race. And we still don't know why she's been singled out just yet. I think it's too early to figure that part of it out yet, and also it's too early to figure out whether or not this is a show that is as good, if not better, than Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. It's too early to tell. Vince Gilligan has said that he wants to be at least 4 or 5 seasons long, but yeah, we shall see on that front. But I mean, it has all the Vince Gilligan tropes, the great quirky characters, the locations, even got the crappy cars that they drive, similar to what they had in Breaking Bad and in Better Call Saul. All of it is there, even like the architecture and the buildings, and it has that Albuquerque feel to it, which is great. So yeah, I mean, the show is really great. So far, so good. And I also like the fact that, it's eerie. As soon as like the aliens start saying things like we and us, they talk as one. It's very strange, very, very quirky, very eerie. So yeah, definitely give this show a chance. It's on Apple TV Plus if you've got it. So far, so good. Well done, Vince Gilligan. Looking forward to the episode 5. I'm pretty sure it's between 10 and 12 episodes. We shall see. Might be even 20 episodes. Who knows? So I don't know. We'll find out. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys check out Pluribus on Apple TV Plus, and I shall see you in the next video.